There's particularly a fantastic scene in the interrogation where we do see these three very different cops coming at this interrogation in a different way. What can you share about actually filming that with Jason and Chris, and also working with director Eric, who's obviously an actor director, and kind of getting the tone right with those three very different energies?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was work for first of all, working with Jason was incredible. He's such an incredible actor. Uh, it was important that we allowed him to sort of like infect the energy of, our home base, our, office, and he has his way of doing work. We have our way. And we're also learning what he's bringing to the table, so we end up finding out what he did in Mexico. Um, and we're all like, what the fuck? So it's just kind of like letting that play out and just seeing like who is this guy and like what is he really about. And I also wanted to be careful too when we shot it was like I know that Reyes has to have people that are questionable as well in his life. So, it's important to realize like, okay, I get it, but like, still, who are you? Because I don't like what I'm hearing. And I think that working with Eric LaSalle on this it was awesome. He was able to allow us to play and just to figure out the energy of the scene. And it kind of we found it kind of easily in a way because Jason's such a good actor and he sort of like spearheaded this like energy in the room in terms of like what the characters were feeling and like this guy coming in and sort of like wanting to, you know, push Stabler into a lane of like we need to do it this way, you know? So yeah, it was fun. And honestly, like it won't be the only interaction, Stable McKenna and Reyes have this season.
Yeah. Well, and we did get to see a lot of Stabler and Reyes in this episode. What can you share about what Reyes is learning about himself as a cop and also what he's learning about Elliot in this kind of partnership that they've had at times this season?
That's a good question. I mean, I think, it'd be nice to explore, how Reyes is dealing with, a lot of the loss that he's had the last few years, and what that looks like at home. Because I think, again, he's so good at his job, and yet he's dealt with so much loss. So what does that mean to be able to? It's almost like he has the Mamba mentality, the Kobe Bryant thing, because it's like chaos is happening, and you're just like able to like really dive in and work hard. And we see that when he's able to really get the information out of Miguel's girlfriend. It's he's just he understands how to befriend her. He understands culturally what she means and how to connect with her culturally. And he knows that he's perceptive enough to understand that the force is really angry with her boyfriend for what he did. And so, they're like wolves on top of him, of her rather. And he just knows how to go a different direction. So it's just interesting to see how Reyes can just sort of elevate himself every time, regardless of the loss that he's having in his life. So yeah, I mean, I think I'm pretty sure like it has to be taking a toll on him, you know, in working these cases and not having anything to sort of like take the edge off. So